Making and recording music is more accessible for everyone than ever. During those crazy times we went through in 2020, home studio recording became the new standard, even for professional artists and top charting bands. That being said, if you're really passionate about it, there are less things that hold you back from making it happen. Just to give you a little perspective, this song, which has over 1 million views as well as the whole album, were recorded here in this room. In a booth made with free DIY rock wool panels, really cheap reflection filter, Scarlett Solo interface, AKG 120 perception mic, and mixed by myself using only software plugins. Safe to say, I know how to get the most out of your home studio space to get the best quality possible without breaking the bank. People are either excited or afraid if someone starts to speak about room acoustics, and that's completely understandable since the thing that dictates them the most are your living conditions. Some things has changed since I recorded artists here, so the only place in that room for my desk is this corner. Places to apply acoustic treatment are very limited, so I need to cheat a bit with modeling headphones and this ultra near field system. I was lucky enough to work in properly treated rented studio rooms, and you probably know what I'm about to say. Nothing can beat the experience of great room acoustics and mixing on speakers. There is a whole article on our website in which we covered all possible problems caused by your room. If you're starting out with a clean slate, I highly suggest you to read it after watching this video to get the best possible research. The bigger the better doesn't apply to your studio monitors, especially in small studio spaces. Your room simply won't handle the sound from 7 or 8+ inches speakers, and what's even worse, it can definitely affect your mixing and hearing. The best size to start is 5 inches, although as I said before, even some smaller speakers with a cool technology inside can provide you with great results. The things you need to be aware the most is placing your monitors along long walls, proximity issues if there is a close wall behind them, and reflections from hard surfaces. The distance between two speakers should be the same as the distance between each speaker and your head. As far as height goes, your speaker's tweeters should be at or around your ear level. More and more companies offer starting guides, built-in EQ switches dedicated to your monitor position, or even correction software inside the box. As boring as it might be, if your speakers cause desk or stand vibration, you need to invest in acoustic pads. You probably already own and use audio interface, but let me just remind you some very important things. Just like studio monitors, nowadays even budget-friendly options offer great quality and functionality. Obviously, the more expensive your interface gets, the better converters you get. Usually there are also more inputs and outputs, which will benefit you in the long run as you will start to connect output gear or maybe even record the whole band. From my own experience, I need to warn you, try to use the best quality connection cables possible. Majority of Thunderbolt powered interfaces do not come with Thunderbolt cables. I got a lot of connection dropouts while using cheaper cable, but once I got the certified one, the problems disappeared. To save your wallet and yourself from gear addiction, at first try to plan the main thing that your studio is for. If you are a producer, try to get as universal MIDI controller as possible. If you play instruments or use hardware synths, don't try to save on cheap instrument cables. If you record voice or singing, you also need to count your room acoustics. Great place to start here is getting dynamic yet studio quality microphone like legendary SM7B or slightly cheaper but better in my opinion, SE Dynacaster. Speaking of recording instruments, the time-tested SM57 is unbeatable when it comes to quality and usability. There is a huge amount of options, so without any insight in your studio, it will be hard to recommend you any specific piece. That's why I always recommend to build some connections inside audio community or simply just go to your local music store and test things out for yourself. Just to not trigger any DAW wars here, which I'm totally against, I would say that the best digital audio workstation for you is the one you have access to. Once you will master or get bored of stock plugins, it's time to look for third-party solutions. There are literally thousands of plugins, more or less familiar to your stock ones, with more or less emulated analog sound. Our plugins offer a very unique yet intuitive approach to shape your sound. Unlike many others, presets in bass room or mix room are highly compatible with your signal. It's all due to Always Listen algorithm, which provides you with hints and adjustments based on your tracks, not some universal standards which doesn't apply to every song. Utility tools like reference or levels will help you to pinpoint all the problematic details of your tracks. And finally, with the rise and ease of releasing music on your own, Limiter provides you with all adjustments to fulfill streaming platform standards without destroying your tracks. Keep in mind that there are a lot of successful musicians and engineers who produce and mix their songs on the go with just their laptops. At the end of the day, it's all about getting familiar with tools you already have and your own sound. You can add some bells and whistles as your skills get better. Just to help you with that, we create those videos with mixing, mastering and music production tips. So if you don't want to miss any new uploads, make sure to subscribe to our channel.